The coronavirus now reaching the West Wing, with one of the president's personal valets testing positive.
Yeah, it's a little bit strange, but it's one of those things.
The valet, a member of the Navy, who NBC News has learned would serve the president his lunch and Diet Cokes and perform other duties.
I've had very little personal contact with this gentleman. Know who he is, good person, but I've had very little contact. Mike has had very little contact with him.
A person close to the White House saying President Trump was, quote, lava-level mad at his staff when he learned the news, saying he does not believe they're doing all they can to protect him. A source with knowledge of the situation calling it an operational failure. President Trump says he and Vice President Pence both tested negative on back-to-back days, Wednesday and Thursday, insisting the White House is now tightening its protocols.
Testing is not a perfect art. No matter what you do, testing is not a perfect art. So we test once a week. Now we're going to go testing once a day.
But while the White House begins daily testing, the supply of those same tests nationwide remains far below the level experts say is needed to reopen the country safely. Earlier this week, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany, when pressed by NBC News, dismissed the idea of tests for everyone returning to work.
If we tested every single American in this country at this moment, we'd have to retest them an hour later and then an hour later after that, because at any moment you could theoretically contract this virus. So the notion that everyone needs to be tested is just simply nonsensical.
President Trump said to me yesterday that his valets wear masks. In fact, he said a lot of people in the White House wear masks. But covering this place over the last several weeks, I've got to say I've almost never seen any official or any member of the White House staff wearing a mask inside the West Wing.